Every night, something happens in the ocean. Something enormous. Something ancient. Something that has been going on since long before the first human being ever walked on land. And yet, until recently, no one had ever truly seen it. Not from the inside. Billions of creatures, billions, leave the safety of the deep and rise toward the surface. They come from 600 meters down, some from deeper still. They travel through the dark and vast swirling clouds. Lanternfish, squid, shrimp, jellyfish trailing silver threads, strange, translucent things that don't even have names yet. It is, by any measure, the largest migration of animals on this planet. Every single night, in every ocean in the world. And for most of human history, we had no idea it was happening. This is the dark side of the ocean. And this is the story of the first man brave enough, or maybe reckless enough, to go in after it. The world we don't see. Most of us picture the ocean in daylight. We picture coral reefs in shallow turquoise water, dolphins arcing through sunlit waves, maybe a great white cutting through clear blue near the surface. We think we know what the ocean is. We've seen enough documentaries, enough nature shows, enough photographs. But here's the thing. The ocean we're familiar with, the one near the surface where sunlight reaches, represents just a thin, bright sliver of what actually exists. Below about 200 meters, sunlight fades to almost nothing. Below 1,000 meters, it is completely gone. And those dark, cold, lightless depths make up the vast majority of all the living space on this planet. More than 95% of the ocean's volume is permanently dark. It has no seasons, no day or night, at least not in the way we experience them. The pressure at depth would crush a human body like paper. The temperature barely rises above freezing. Scientists call this the mesopelagic zone, the twilight layer, somewhere between 200 and 1,000 meters down. Below it, the midnight zone. Below that, the abyss. For a long time, we assumed these deeper regions were essentially empty, barren, quiet. We were wrong. Spectacularly, almost embarrassingly wrong. The first clue that something extraordinary was happening in the deep ocean came not from a marine biologist, but from a warship. It was World War II. The United States Navy had just deployed sonar technology on a wide scale. Sound waves sent down into the water to detect enemy submarines. The system worked by measuring how long the sound took to bounce back from the seafloor, and from there, calculating depth. But something strange kept showing up. A second bottom, not the seafloor, something else. A thick, dense layer sitting hundreds of meters above it. It appeared during the day, sitting somewhere between 300 and 500 meters down. And then, as night came, it rose. Slowly, steadily, it moved upward toward the surface. And at dawn, it sank back down again. Navy technicians were baffled. Physicists were baffled. For a while, the most popular theory was that it was some kind of thermal layer, a temperature change in the water that was reflecting the sonar signal. But when scientists finally investigated more closely, they discovered the truth. That phantom bottom was alive. It was an enormous mass of living organisms, fish, squid, shrimp, jellyfish, packed so densely together that their swim bladders and soft bodies were reflecting sonar just like solid ground. Billions of creatures moving in unison, rising and falling with the sun as though the entire ocean had a heartbeat. They named it the deep scattering layer, and it changed everything scientists thought they knew about life in the ocean. The Great Migration. So what exactly is happening every night, in every ocean on Earth? It begins at dusk. As the last light fades from the surface, something shifts in the deep. Animals that have spent the daylight hours hiding in the cold, dark safety of the mesopelagic zone begin to stir. They sense the change in light the way we might feel a shift in the air before a storm, and they begin to move. Upward. Lanternfish, small, abundant, sparkling with rows of bioluminescent dots along their bellies, begin their ascent. Krill and euphosid shrimp follow, vast pink clouds of them drifting upward through the dark. Squid jet silently toward the surface. Tiny copepods, some of the most numerous animals on the planet, rise in immeasurable quantities. Within a few hours of darkness, the ocean's surface becomes something you simply wouldn't believe if you hadn't seen it. Waters that looked empty and blue during the day are suddenly seething with life. The concentration of living creatures increases by 100-fold. Some estimates suggest the total biomass that rises each night is measured in the hundreds of millions of tons. And then, before dawn, every single one of them turns around and goes back down. Every night, like clockwork, for billions of years. The obvious question is, why? Why would any animal choose to make a journey of 600 meters or more, every single day, burning energy, facing pressure changes, navigating in total darkness? The answer is both simple and stark. It's survival. During the day, the sunlit surface waters are dangerous. Predators that hunt by sight, tuna, billfish, dolphins, seabirds diving from above, own those bright, shallow waters. A small fish or squid near the surface in daylight is, in plain terms, easy prey. So, they hide. Deep down, where no light reaches, visual predators lose their advantage. The darkness is armor. But the food, the phytoplankton, the tiny creatures that form the base of the entire ocean food chain, that food is all near the surface. It needs sunlight to survive, and the animals that eat phytoplankton need access to it. So, the mesopelagic animals have evolved an extraordinary compromise. During the day, down deep, safe in the dark. At night, rise, eat, feed, breed. Before dawn, retreat back to the cold and the black before the sun puts them back in danger. It is, in evolutionary terms, one of the most elegant solutions nature has ever come up with. And it happens on a scale that makes every wildebeest migration, every monarch butterfly journey, every salmon run look modest by comparison. This is the largest daily movement of biomass on Earth. Not the Serengeti, not the Arctic. Here, in the dark, under the ocean. Every single night. Marine biologist and underwater cameraman Rick Rosenthal has been filming the ocean for most of his adult life. He has spent years underwater. He's worked on some of the most ambitious nature documentaries ever produced. He's filmed sharks, whales, spawning events, coral bleaching. He knows the ocean the way a musician knows their instrument, not just technically but instinctively in his bones. But one thing had always eluded him. One event that every oceanographer knew about, but that no cameraman had ever truly captured: the migration. The problem wasn't that scientists didn't know where it happened. They knew exactly where it happened. Everywhere, in every ocean, every night. The problem was how to film it. You can't follow hundreds of millions of animals through 600 meters of dark water on a single dive. You can't wait at the surface, because the creatures spend only a few hours there before retreating. You can't light it from a submarine without completely disrupting the behavior of every animal nearby. The solution, the only solution, was to go in the water. At night, in the open ocean, in the dark. No seafloor beneath him. No reef to orient to. Just open water going down for hundreds of meters below his fins, and billions of creatures rising up to meet him. Anyone else would have thought twice. Rosenthal got his dive gear ready. What Rick Rosenthal found when he dropped beneath the surface on those first night dives was, by his own account, unlike anything he had experienced in decades of underwater filming. The water was alive. Not alive in the way a coral reef is alive, structured, fixed, familiar. Alive in the way that a crowd is alive. Movement everywhere, from every direction. Creatures rising past him, brushing against him, swirling in eddies made by their own passage. Squid shooting upward on jets of water. Lanternfish gliding in loose, shifting schools, their bioluminescent dots leaving faint trails in the dark like underwater stars. And the light. Because many of the creatures making this migration produce their own bioluminescence, cold, chemical light generated by their own bodies. Blue-green flashes as squid dart past. The steady glow of a lanternfish school. The trailing luminescence of a siphonophore, meters long, drifting like a lit chandelier through the water. In a place with no sun, no moon, no stars, the ocean makes its own light. Rosenthal filmed for hours, night after night, off Hawaii, off the coast of Panama, in the deep, warm waters where the migration is richest and most concentrated. And what he captured on those dives became the first record of its kind, the first footage shot from within the world's greatest migration by a human being who had chosen to be part of it. What it means for all of us. The diel vertical migration isn't just a spectacular natural event. It is, in the most literal sense, one of the engines that keep our planet alive. Every night, when those billions of creatures rise to feed at the surface, they consume carbon. And every morning, when they descend back into the deep, they carry that carbon with them, in their bodies, in their waste, in the chemical processes of their digestion. Scientists call it the biological pump, and it is one of the primary mechanisms by which the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The mesopelagic zone acts like a giant filter, drawing carbon down from the surface and locking it away in the cold dark of the deep, where it can stay for decades, sometimes centuries. When you think about the fact that oceans absorb roughly a quarter of all the carbon dioxide that human beings produce every year, and when you understand that the migration plays a significant role in that process, the numbers become almost difficult to hold in your head. Billions of animals, every ocean, every night, moving carbon from the sky into the deep, for billions of years before we existed. And still going on right now as you watch this. For all the progress science has made in understanding this migration, and it's been remarkable, given where we started, the list of what remains unknown is still long. We don't know the exact number of species involved. Hundreds have been identified, but new ones are discovered on almost every deep water survey. We don't know the full vertical range of the migration. Some research suggests animals may travel from depths greater than 1,000 meters, further than previously thought. We don't fully understand how the migration is changing as ocean temperatures rise, whether the warming of surface waters is altering the timing, the depth, the routes, or the species composition. And perhaps most tellingly, we don't know how a disruption to the migration might affect the biological pump, how it might affect the ocean's ability to absorb carbon, how it might ripple up through the food chain that feeds the fish that feed us. The deep ocean remains the least explored environment on Earth. We have mapped more of the surface of Mars than we have of our own ocean floor. And below the surface, in the vast, dark, heaving water column where this migration takes place, we are barely past the beginning. Rosenthal's dives gave us a window, a remarkable, irreplaceable window, but the room behind it is still mostly dark. Tonight, when the sun goes down wherever you are, it will happen again. In the Pacific, in the Atlantic, in the Indian Ocean and the Southern Ocean and the Arctic seas. In waters you'll never visit, far from any coast, in darkness so complete that it makes the night sky look lit by comparison. Billions of creatures will begin to rise. They won't know they're doing something remarkable. They won't know that a marine biologist once dropped into their world with a camera and came back with footage that changed how we understand life on this planet. They won't know that scientists are still trying to piece together the full scale of what they do or how much we depend on it. They'll just rise, feed, and sink back down before the light finds them, as they have every night for longer than our species has existed. There's something quietly humbling about that. The idea that one of the most important events in the natural world has been happening around us all along. Massive, essential, and almost completely invisible. We think we know the ocean. We've barely introduced ourselves. If this left you with that particular feeling, the one where you realize the world is far stranger and more astonishing than you gave it credit for, then drop a comment below. I'd genuinely love to know what part of this surprised you most. And if you want to keep exploring the parts of this planet that most people never see, subscribing means you'll be here for whatever comes next. There's a lot more ocean left.